Good evening. And I was locked on Al there for just 1 second, and I got rid of him. Welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. Glad to have y'all guys out there already. Katie Dotson's out there. Jim Bashir's on here too. Ryan Ballard. Mark Lindsay's out there. Just a few. I think Steve Nealon is out there. Ken McCrory. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate that. We had like 22 people in the chat before the show even started. So I appreciate that. But the guest I had invited tonight is sick. He believes he has the flu. And so, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. When you get sick, you get sick. Trust me, I've been there before too. So he'll be back. We'll get him back on here. And also, I talked to Sterling Davis this afternoon. And he's sick. He has the flu. So, wow, it seems like it's going around. So make sure you go get your flu shots. That's for sure, because it does help. Trust me. But, yeah, Sterling's not doing good. So keep him in mind. And other than that, so I was up at Brockler, and I had to get prepared for that. So I really didn't have a time. I was going to do something, but there was just not enough time from the time I got home to prepare for it. So we're going to just kind of do like a round table, talk about stuff, talk about what's in the shop. Talk about some of the stuff going out there, some of the challenging stuff going in the maker community. So if they can't come back next week, I've got something planned that I know I can do next week because I'm not teaching or doing scroll saw at Rockler next weekend. So I'll have plenty of time to prepare. But other than that, we appreciate y'all being here and appreciate the guys on the panel. We will get to them in just 1 second. Andrew Haig is out there. Awesome Fun Things, which is Matt Haas. He's out there in the chat. Thank you, guys. Let me talk about my great and wonderful sponsors first. And they are Devobal Technologies for web design, development, hosting. Go to devobal.com. Really great guys. They do my website. FastCap, innovative products for the professional woodworker. Go to fastcap.com. And Rockler, 60 years in woodworking, create with confidence. Visit rockler.com. Bearwood Supply Company, your choice for hard-to-find woodworking supplies. Go to bearwood.com. And also Klingspor, the sanding specialist. So if y'all didn't know this or read about it, I gave away a 20 on last show. We had that big 20-pound box. Matter of fact, sitting over there on the floor of sandpaper, and Ken Moon won the drawing and got his 20-pound box. So he posted some pictures on Facebook. He said, wow, this thing's heavy. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It really is heavy. 20 pounds doesn't sound that much until you get a hold of that box and lift it, and you're going like, wow. And there's a lot of sandpaper in there, trust me. Well, if y'all watched last week, y'all saw. So, but other than that, we'll talk about the challenges and stuff as we go down. Let's let the panel introduce themselves. And we'll start off on my left, and we'll start off with a newbie tonight. And I just recently met him, and he entered, I think this is your first time of scrolling, he entered the clock challenge, and that's Brett Goodermo.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I'm Brett. Brett Goodermo. Just look me up on YouTube and check out our channel. I'm a beginner woodworker, trying to learn a little bit of everything, including the scroll saw. That really cool Mad Hatter's clock I made was the third time I've actually ever touched the saw, and I think it came out pretty good. And that's about it for tonight.
Good. Yeah, it did look good. It looked real good. All the entries look fantastic. Then you said that's only the third time? Not bad for a third time.
Yeah, I done 2 little practice pieces before, and that was it. I hadn't done any actual work with it.
Wow. And then next is Mr. Chris Ahern.
Hey guys, Chris Ahern here from the old Cranky Workshop. I'm the owner operator and the head floor sweeper. You can find me on Facebook and on YouTube. All I got right now.
Cool. And then Mr. Dave Gatton.
Thank you, Russ. Had trouble getting unmuted there. My name's Dave Gatton. You can find me pretty much everywhere, YouTube, Facebook, all the usual places. Thanks for having me on, Russ.
You're welcome, and you need to shave.
Yeah, I know. Probably will pretty soon.
What is that? No November or no shave November?
No shave November challenge. Yeah.
I told him he had a long way. When we were talking earlier, I said, "You got a long way to catch me, dude."
I wouldn't even try, buddy. I'm so too far behind.
And then Donna, how you doing, Donna?
Doing good. How is everybody tonight? Donna Presley from Donna's Wooden Art. You can find me on Facebook, a little bit on YouTube. A little too cold to be out in the shop, so I actually got some Pegasus blades to try because I won the Bear Woods giveaway, and I can't even go use them yet.
That's aggravating.
Yes.
Very aggravating. All right, Donna, thank you for being here. And then Mr. Jim Bashirs.
Hey, Jim Bashirs. I've got a little channel called Driveway Workshop, and just moved out of the garage down here into the basement. So need to get some stuff straightened around here and more light, you can probably tell. But doing well. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. And you moved in the basement during the wintertime, right? Because it's cold?
Well, I moved in the basement because we finally kicked all the kids out of the house. So, so this was my office years ago, and then you know, people come and go. So I got shuffled out to the garage, and now I'm back in here. So it will be nice to be in here during the winter, though.
Oh yeah, I'll bet.
Yep.
And then Mr. John Schaffner.
Good evening, everyone. John Schaffner here. You can find me on Facebook under my name and YouTube. If you are bored, go ahead and check that out. Frigid Central New York here. It's colder than, we won't even go there. It's cold.
Yeah.
We even had some flurries here yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So, time to get the wood stove going and keep it warm out there so I can actually do something.
Yeah.
Back to you, my friend.
Go ahead.
No, back to you. I'm good.
Oh, unfortunately, we don't have that cold problem that often here in Florida. I have heat here in the shop. But a 20-pound cylinder of propane, which I have propane heater in here naturally, will last me all winter without any problem. And usually there's some left over. So that's.
Well, Chris posted did a post on Facebook this morning about it was 32 degrees in his shop. Chris, buddy. My shop was 19 this morning. So I had to fire up a salamander. I got a kerosene salamander. Fired that up until I got the wood stove going. By the time that was going, got up. I had it up to almost 70. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I finally got it up to about 65 in the shop today. So.
And next is Michael Murray.
Good evening. My name is Michael Murray with Miter Mike's Wood Shop. I can be found on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. The easiest thing is go to my website, mitermikeswoodshop.com. All the links will be there.
Cool.
Thank you to all the veterans. I believe there's a couple on here, aren't there?
Yeah, I know Jim Bashirs is. So yeah,
thank you.
We got a couple out there that I haven't seen before. Brenda G's Designs. I think Donna must know her. And then Becky's Texas Wood Shop. I think I saw her a couple of times out there on a couple other shows. But good to have y'all. I believe they're new. Tom Spillane's back out there, but yeah. Becky's Texas Wood Shop says, I'm buying me a small electric fireplace for my shop. Yeah, I don't blame you. All right, and then Mr. Al Forte.
I better get myself unmuted. You can find me at Al Forte on Facebook, Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop on Facebook. Also on YouTube, Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop. I just do a little bit of everything. My motto is just for fun. So hopefully we'll have some fun tonight.
Cool.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And then Paul from Paul's Messy Wood Shop.
Hi there. I'm Paul Quarles from Paul's Messy Workshop, and I'm on YouTube as Paul's Messy Workshop. Excuse me. And on or what's that other one? Instagram. It's Paul's Messy Workshop and paulsmessyworkshop.com. And I feel kind of guilty because my workshop is in the basement. So in the wintertime, it's a nice, warm, cozy, about 70 degrees. And in the summertime, in the heat of summertime, it's around a nice, cool 75 degrees. So it's nice having it down there. The dust throughout the house isn't always nice, but the temperature is always nice. So thanks for having me on here, Russ.
You're welcome. Now, when are you coming back to Florida?
Well, I'm not sure. I might have to have neck surgery, and that's what I'm waiting to find out now. And if I do, that's going to be the determining factor if we make it down at all. If I don't have to have surgery, then hopefully in February.
Okay, cool. All right. Hopefully everything works out and I get to see you this year. Usually he comes down and we go to the woodworking show in Tampa together.
That's my goal.
Yep. All right, guys. So just a roundtable thing tonight. First, before a couple of things that I know of, and we'll get to. I know Dave's got a contest or challenge coming up, but the one things that I know is hobby that is going on right. Well, the Scroll Saw Artist Contest is still going on. It will end the 15th of next week, which is next Wednesday. Matter of fact, yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of good entries too.
Yeah, next Wednesday. If it ends next Wednesday, hopefully I can get them all judged, and we can have the actual next Saturday show will be the announcement of the winners. So forgot about that. I was already planning on next Saturday's show, and I'm thinking like just dawned on me. Hold on, if Wednesday's the 15th, I am going to try to have it judged and have the winners done on Saturday. So that's what next show is going to be. Other than that, Hobbies 30-day challenge, almost impossible challenge is still going out there. So that will be running till the end of November. And what you do is he needs 30 days means you need to make a project a day or do something. But you can find all this information. He's got a website up with all the challenges, shows and show times, and even people that are you put your YouTube information on the channel, and that's on the web page, and that's craftsmanconnection.com. and craftsman, CRAFTSMAN connection.com. All one word, Craftsman Connection. So go over there and you can see his 30-day challenges on there and the information you need for that, and all the other stuff that is coming up from now to the end of the year. And I think he's even got stuff posted for next year that's coming up. So pretty cool. A good shout out to Hobby for doing that. It's your one-stop shop for finding all the information you need about YouTube stuff going on. So, and Facebook. Very good. I wanted to say that. And then I'll go ahead. Let's go ahead, since we're talking about the challenge and everything. Dave, go ahead and I'll lock on you and go ahead and tell everybody about your challenge that's going to be coming up here in November.
Okay, thank you, Russ. Starting on Black Friday, the day after Christmas, we've got the Dave Gatton CNC Christmas Challenge that runs through right up until midnight Christmas Eve. You go out in your shop, make a Christmas themed project with your CNC, and upload it to YouTube. Send me a link, and we go from there. You know, we have to have some kind of challenge for us CNC guys, because we're usually banned from all the other kinds. So,
right. Yeah. What is it? Some people say that.
Well, I mean, everybody knows it's not real woodworking. So,
yeah, I think
you just push a button and the machine magically does it all. So
I think that's pretty funny that they would they say that, because you know, throughout time, it's not only been CNCs, it's been other stuff that's done the same thing. I remember when we used to do all the painting when I was a kid, and with paint brushes, there was no roller, and the roller come out. Oh, that'll never work. The paint won't look right. And then they went from roller to an airless sprayer. Oh, that won't work. So it's just, to me, it's nothing more than another tool in your arsenal of tools in the shop. That's all a CNC is.
Yeah.
But yeah, good. So I plan on, I wasn't able to enter last year, but I am able to enter this year. So I'm going to try to get me a something done.
Okay, cool. We had about 16 entries. Last year was the first one, 16 entries. So if anybody wants to go check out last year's playlist to get an idea for a project, check that out. But you can make pretty much anything, as long as it's done on a CNC and got a Christmas theme to it.
Right. Very good. All right. So let's go ahead and go down the aisle. Basically, we're going to talk about what we are doing right now and in our shops. So we'll start down the aisle. Let's start with Mr. Brett. Yeah, we'll go ahead and go down the aisle the same way we did before. So, Brett, what do you? I know you got a clock in the clock challenge, but
yeah.
What else have you been doing around in your shopping?
We're getting ready for a small craft fair here in town, so we've been making a lot of candle holders, or looks like we're going to be making some pencil holders soon. My kid is working with the scroll saw to make some jewelry trees and such, and I'm probably going to kick out another couple of clocks because I really like making them. So that and a lot of cleaning because it's a perpetual cycle. Every 4 hours of work requires 6 hours of cleaning.
What'd you say? Every 4 hours of work requires 6 hours of cleaning?
Yeah, the way I do it.
I was going to say, if I go in my shop for 4 hours, it takes me a couple of days to clean up after my disaster. Yeah, it takes me a while. Trust me. I'm the type of person that when I'm doing the project, I'll pull every dead burn tool out, it seems like, to have in the shop to do it. And then when I finish, I come out the next morning, I'm like, what the? There's like stuff everywhere. And like I said, I'll spend a whole day cleaning up after my mess from just doing that one little project. So
after the project time, I spend 30 minutes just putting tools back, but then it's all the cleanup and moving all the scraps and vacuuming and everything.
All right. So Chris, what are you doing out in your shop?
Well, actually, I'm getting ready to shut the shop down for the winter because it's too cold out there. But I've got a few things that are in the works right now. I'm working on a Christmas Santa mailbox in the front lawn for front of my yard display. But one of the projects I've been working on is my Noah's Ark set, which just happen to have it here. Put it in the shot here. So, the whole ark. Top comes off, put the animals inside. And here are the animals.
Cool.
So all cut on the scroll, so I'll be proud of me. So
yeah,
we got the cool. Here. And we got a rain off here. So they're all going to be hand painted. Now comes the long, slow part.
Now, you make one of those every year, don't you?
I usually do. I did it for a couple of years because I made the mistake one year trying to get 4 out for the holidays. And one of them was still drying when we put it in the truck to drive down with it. The paint and the finish was still wet. Wow. We had 2 days on the road. 2 days on the road, we'll drive by stuff we get there. But so I did it for a couple of years, but now I do. I do one a year. This year I'm doing 2. One is a promise gift, is the deadline on it, but the other one I want to get it done before Christmas. So we'll get back together. But all moved up now so I can paint the inside piece. So that and my other winter project is my model airplanes.
Those look cool. Yeah, I like those.
So keeps me out of trouble when I can't get to the shop.
Yeah, those look cool. Great. And then Mr. Dave, what are you doing in your shop? What have you been doing in your shop?
I've been playing around with my DeWalt 788 scroll saw.
Yeah.
Or what I like to call the manual CNC. Now I've downloaded some of Steve Good's Christmas ornament patterns, and I've been practicing a little bit with that. I still suck at it, but I'm having a lot of fun, so that's all that matters, I guess.
Yeah, and like, hold up, can you show your ornament? I don't.
I'll try to pick the best one here.
That looks good. That really does. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and you got that from Steve Good's site, right?
Yeah, all these came from Steve Good's
he has
site.
He has some fantastic patterns over there for the beginner and intermediate. None of them are really that hard. And for those of you who don't know him, it's Steve Good at scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com, and he has thousands of free patterns over there that you can download and use. And like I said, they're beginner to intermediate. They're nothing really that hard. So matter of fact, some of the ornaments that we cut out today up at Rockler are some of a few of Steve Good patterns, because I'm like, why reinvent the wheel? He's got them up there and they're free. So I told everybody where I always mention him when I teach in the classes to all the people also that he has free patterns. They're like, really, free? And I'm like, yes, there's hundreds and thousands of patterns there. Go and get the free patterns. That's what they're for. So a real good guy. Miss Donna.
Well, as soon as it gets warmed up, on the warm days, I go to my shop and I'm working on fixing things that I've been having laying in there for years, and just old projects that are done or things that didn't turn out right that I wanted to redo. And then after that, there's some tin blanks I need to make. And then after that, I got so many patterns. I want to get some of them done and get rid of the patterns.
Cool. Do you turn, I know you said you had to have heat out there, but do you do any turning during the wintertime also?
Not if it's real cold. I mean, because I don't like it when it's cold and my fingers hurt to where you're trying to do stuff and then you're like this, you know. Yeah. And so I find stuff to do inside the house when it's cold.
Right. Yeah, that's I never have turned when it was cold, and this year might be it's don't never get that cold around here in Florida, but there are a few days. But my point is I didn't try it last year, but I'm going to be doing some turning here lately, and it's starting to cool off. So we'll find out how that goes.
Yeah, I've got an air conditioner now that has heat with it where I can turn it on. But it's just, I'm just overwhelmed with so many things to do. It's like, I just haven't made out there the last few days.
Yeah. All right, let's take a moment to say Natanic River Woodcrafting. Chris Nealon's out there. Javi says, an evening all from Santa's Enchanted Forest. We mentioned Becky's Texas Wood Shops out there. Michael Marcoux is out there. Let's scroll back. Mark Lindsay. Rusty Nails is out there. Trying to find some other people. Thomas Grimm is out there in the chat. Hi, Thomas. Matt Haas, I mentioned him earlier. Just looking see if I see anybody. Tom Spillane, he's out there in the chat. Thank you guys for all being out there. And hey, guys, we've got 48, I think it is, 48 watching. While you're out there, reach over and click that little thumbs up thing and give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. I sure would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Steve French is out there. Wooden Stuff, he just popped in. So good to have Steve French out there. And Dave Hart. Yep, Dave Hart. Hey, Dave Hart says, hey, Russ. Hey, Dave, how you doing? So, all right. So, let's see. I finished with Donna. So next is Jim. Jim?
Well, I'm working on the clock for the clock challenge, and I got halfway through the thing, and I made the mistake of cutting all the little patterns out and gluing them on the piece of plywood that I was working on and drilling all the holes out in them. And, you know, it blows the back out of the plywood, but it doesn't really matter because it's a three-dimensional kind of clock thing. And then I realized that all the trees were stacked up on the left side of the clock. So I've got to go through and I can't just flip the plywood over because all the drill holes for the blade access blew the back out of the plywood. So I've got to cut, I think, 1 or 2 of the, you know, patterns back out again and then get back out there and finish that up. But that's kind of what I've got going on now.
Cool.
So I should have it done.
And well, since we're on Jim, I know Jim was in the Air Force. Anybody else here on the panel in the service? So Jim,
I was Air Force.
You were Air Force also. Okay.
Right.
All right. So today is actually Veterans Day. So I would like to say thank you to all y'all, and Michael mentioned it earlier, to all y'all veterans out there for your service. My son's a veteran; he's a Marine. And thank you, Jim, personally, and thank you, Al, for your service. But yeah, very good Veterans Day. I posted a little thing about the Sheriff's Department, Polk County Sheriff's Department. They even listed my son's name on there. They have in their ranks in file, as far as the Sheriff's Department has 277 veterans employed in the Sheriff's Department. That's pretty good. Okay, so Mr. John, what are you doing?
Well, I'm struggling to get my clock done as well. It's not that involved. It's a 3-dimensional thing, but it's just beating me up. I've had to recut a couple of pieces, and because he broke, but it's coming along. I'm really hoping to have it done to you by Wednesday, and
Great.
We'll see what happens. It's a nice little clock, though. I'm also trying to wrap up this loft bed that I've been working on for close to a year, and got that all, everything's all cut, everything mortise, tenon, got the there's plywood panels and adboard and footboard that he wanted wolves and bears applied to it. So I finally got those done, got everything stained. I am ready to clear coat and final assembly, and then it's out of my shop. Thank God, because it takes up so damn much room. It's a big one. But other than that, daily little pickup stuff, finding tools I either had lost or forgot I had. The other day I found a scratch awl that I haven't seen in probably 5 years. So, we're gaining ground. So, but after that, I've got projects. I've got Christmas presents to start and finish. I've got Christmas presents I started for last Christmas that I got to finish. So I'm just a little bit behind.
Just a little bit behind?
Just a little, yeah.
Cool.
Well, I've got another bed that I started 11 years ago, mission style headboard, footboard that I started 11 years ago, and still haven't gotten that one done yet. So, but that's from my, he understands. Nah, it should have been done 10 years ago.
Trust me, I'm kind of bad about that same thing. I have a little procrastination on me too. Two things out there I want to point out. For first off, where's it at? Mark said, told me I did very good on the pronunciation of his name. So, or Michael Marcoux. He said I did very good on the pronunciation of his name. I was butchering his name for so long until we finally figured out. Somebody, I think Al or Paul, one of those two guys, told me exactly how it was supposed to be said. And the next thing is Patrick from Patrick's Workshop. Yeah, Michael says, very good, Russ. I'm proud of you. Yeah, for once I didn't butcher your name. But Patrick from Patrick's Workshop is out there in the chat. Thank you, Patrick, for watching and being here.
But you did butcher Chris Nealon and the Niantic River Woodshop.
Yeah.
Niantic
River Woodcrafting with Chris Nealon.
Yep.
Okay, Niantic. See, I'm terrible with that stuff.
We'll remind you again next week.
Yeah, I'm terrible with that. So, all right, and next is Michael.
I've been doing the hobby challenge, so every day I've been doing something. A lot of it's I just been posted on Instagram. Today I spent the day in the storage above the garage. It's been ice cold, so I opened up the wall and I insulated the ceiling of the garage and spray foamed all the creases. So hopefully it'll be a little bit warmer in the garage. We'll see.
Cool. I've been watching your scroll, and that's another one. You only recently this year or started scrolling, right?
Yes, in March, April. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it was a little after April.
Yeah,
The show after the show.
Yeah, you've been doing very, very well for yourself longer than you've been scrolling. I've been watching your projects.
Thank you. Yeah, I learned the hard way. You can't put 1.5 inches or 1.75 inches on the scroll saw and cut.
Yeah, it's you on the DW788, the DeWalt. It's usually 1.5 inches is the maximum, and that's even pushing it a little bit. But you can do 1.5 inches.
Yeah, I tried to do coasters, and I triple stacked it. I did a video on it, and I actually showed in the video. I had the 3, and I started, and it was just like bouncing, and it just needs a little bit more to pivot, and I didn't realize. So yeah. I took one off, and I cut 2. I double stacked it. So
yeah,
you live and learn.
It has its limitations. It's not like a bandsaw that can cut through 12 inches. But yeah, I stack cut. Matter of fact, somebody was talking about. We're thinking they're talking about at Rockler doing a scrolling with Santa, and you know who's going to be Santa. So anyway, but what they're wanting to do is also that some of the children that might come in might be a little too young to use a scroll saw. So what we're going to do is talking about, and they were asking about how can we make a lot of ornament, easy, simple ornaments, but have them pre-cut for the ones that can't really scroll, but they can actually paint them or finish them. Have a little station set up where they can paint or finish them. And I was talking, and those guys never had heard about stack cutting, and I said, yeah, you can do like three or 4 1/4-inch Baltic birch ornaments at one time and stack cut them. That would be the best way to do them if we're going to do multiples of them. So that's still in the works. We don't know. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but that was thrown out there to.
The cool thing when the last couple times I've stacked, I've taped it so tight together that I really only have to sand the last one.
Yeah.
To get the fuzzies on. Everything else in the middle and the top, we're fine. I was like, yes. So.
Yep. Are you using a waste piece underneath the last one, the bottom one?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't tried that yet.
Okay. Sometimes you can get by with it, and sometimes you can't. So, and even if you only use a thin piece of cardboard or something, even works. But like I said, sometimes you don't need it, and sometimes you do. So, Jim Dockrell's over there. Hi, Jim. How you doing? Good to see you. All right, and then Mr. Al. You're in your shop. What are you?
Yeah. Get unmuted there. I too am one of those that starts projects and kind of has them back, John, from like years ago. But I've been working on the 30-day impossible or almost impossible challenge that Hobby's got. And I've been just building little things. I was inspired by Russ. Since Russ did his cars, I was inspired by Russ. So I made a little car. And I used a 2x4. So and I went the route that you were talking about, Russ.
Right.
With the deals like that. And then I didn't have wheels, so I took and I made my own wheels on the Knot woodworking machine, the CNC.
Oh, cool.
And so I'm gonna put those wheels in there, and I plan on taking the mags inside and painting them. And actually, this is 3/4. It should have been a half, but anyway, I guess I'll just have big fat wheels. I've even thought about putting fenders on it, to go over the wheel wells, but that might be a little overkill. I don't know.
How about hydraulics?
Yeah, definitely. Because like that, it does kind of look like, you know, low rider.
Especially you put those big fat tires with those mags on it. Yeah, it's definitely going to.
Just put them on in the back.
Yeah.
That's true. I can trim the you know, I can trim it and make it skinny for the front. But but that'll still be okay though. I don't know. That's not too big.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. And just going to give a shout out to Sterling Davis is in the chat. He said he might try to. He felt better. He's going to try to get in the chat tonight. So hope you're feeling better, Sterling. I told everybody you weren't feeling real good. So glad to see you out there in the chat. That's really good. And also, who else was Jim Dockrell? I believe I said him already. Mark Christopher, how you doing, Mark? Mark Christopher had surgery here a while back. I hope you're doing good. I felt so bad about him. He was tied up in his house and couldn't do anything, and he was asking people. He posted and says, "Please post in here and tell me what you're doing, because I'm going bananas sitting here in my house after the surgery and can't get out of my shop." So people started posting what they were doing in their shop just so he could read it and everything. So that was pretty funny. And then Mr. Paul, what are you doing in your shop?
Hey, a little bit of everything. Before we go too far, I got a couple things. One, there's a note for you on the inside chat.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing is, on your pickup that you make, if you put an extra set of wheels on it, can you make it a dually?
Oh, there you go.
What's going on in my shop to start out with is this right here. And I went to the big box store today because I didn't feel like turning it on the lathe. And I bought a foot of closet rod. And what I'm using that for is I'm going to make one of those handles for my scroll saw. And I'm going to do it a little different than you do. So I'm going to make a video on it and post it. But it'll be about the same thing. I'm just going to do it a little different. The other thing that I just finished in my shop like a week or so ago is my entry. Hope you can see this thing. My entry to the scroll saw project. And this is my clock that I made.
How much are you going to sell that for?
I haven't figured out to tell you the truth. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with it yet.
Wow.
I don't really have a place to put it.
That's beautiful.
But there's 540 interior cuts in it. And it's all walnut. And actually, I thought about donating it to my daughter's church and let them raffle it off when they have an auction or something.
Where'd you get the pattern from?
I got the pattern from Cherry Tree Toys, and it is what the heck is it called? It's a line of patterns they carry there, and but it's from Cherry Tree Toys. And the pattern comes, the interesting thing was the pattern comes full size. And I wanted to get an extra pattern made up so I could cut up the one I had to make the pieces. So I took it to Kinko's, and for what it cost me at Kinko's to get the plan copied, for another $4, I could have just ordered another set of plans.
Yeah.
But I'm real happy with the way it came out. Like I say, it's all walnut.
That's beautiful.
And our Habitat for Humanity store near me handles urban lumber, where they go in, they cut down trees in and around the city, and then the company that cuts them down mills them, kiln dries it, and then they sell it through Habitat for Humanity to help raise money for them. So that's my clock.
Now, how many hours I'm sorry, I was trying to look at the chat also. How many hours did it take you to do that?
I have no idea. A lot of hours. But there's, like I say, there's 540 cuts in it, and the only pieces that don't have cuts in them are the dividers between the sections, and there's 2 on the back that don't have cuts.
Right.
But and the roof doesn't have cuts, but everything else has cuts in it.
Trust me, this is going to be a most difficult year for judging these things because I've seen Donna's, yours. I mean, every entry this year is just off the wall. They're just awesome. So y'all are making it very, very difficult for me.
Yeah, everybody that's turned in a clock has turned in a really nice one.
Do what?
I said everybody that's turned in a clock, it's been a really nice one.
Yeah, and you know, I never thought, you know, I mean, I look at these clocks and I'm like, wow, because when I first said we're going to do clocks, I never imagined the level of quality or the level of projects that we would have entered, because I was just like, I think Donna was the first one to post.
Yeah, and hers is really something. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, and I was like, holy crap, look at that. So I've been very well just blown out of the water, because this is one of those times when you wish it was a drawing and you didn't have to judge. Yeah, you really do, because you look at them and go like, wow, there's no other thing to say other than, wow, it's going to be hard to judge. So we'll get it done. I'll get it done. Just don't nobody be mad at me.
Well, the funny thing is I was nearing the finish of that clock. I thought, God, I'll be glad when this thing is done. I'm so tired of cutting little itty tiny holes. And I got it all done. And I thought, well, I'd like to do another one so I'd see what it would look like in oak or in cherry or something. And
yeah.
So I don't know if I'll ever build another one or not.
No, that's the funny thing about it is too. I've done a few projects that are lengthy, and I hate those projects. Trust me, I'd rather do 10 small projects to one large project. Just I'm the kind of person that I want something I can get in and do and then get the gratification for. I can see it, ooh, ah, and everything. But yeah. Well, what I've been doing is, and on my I'll plug myself over on Twitch TV on Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do scrolling with Russ, and we do scroll saw stuff. I show you different things on the scroll saw, kind of like teaching, and then also we just scroll stuff. And so that's on Twitch TV, twitch.com, and it's Simply Wooden Creations. It's not under Scrolling with Russ. It's under Simply Wooden Creations. Everything that I have is under Simply Wooden Creations on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything Simply Wooden Creations. But anyway, so our woodworking club every year does, and Steve French is involved in that, makes wooden toys for children that are underprivileged, you know, in orphanages or in homes where they would normally not get toys. And also they go to missionaries that take them overseas and give them. Now, and so this is some of the toys that I have made up. And these are what I'm entering in the Hobbies Challenge. These are my designs. This is supposed to be my Volkswagen Bug. And now the Woodworking Club supplies us with the wheels already pre-made. So these are already pre-made. They buy them through our, we have donations during the year, fundraisers, and then also we have a raffle that goes on every meeting. And so they use that money to buy the wheels. So all you have to do is make the other part. But that's that one. That's one of the things I've been working on. There's my little pickup truck. Here's my train. And then my space shuttle. And you know what? I'm going to have to go back and redesign this. I said I kind of did this after Steve French's, he did space shuttles. The wing on the space shuttle is supposed to be at the bottom. I got it on the top. So that's kind of like, I don't know. It looks all right, I guess. But that's one of the things I noticed is that the wing was not in the right place. But anyway, that's one of the...
I don't think a kid's going to really mind.
Yeah, I don't think there are either. But anyway, I've got 6, 7 different patterns. There's a few of them I don't have up here. And like I said, they give us the wheels. That's one of the things I've been doing. And what was another thing I've been doing? I was going to say, oh, I've been making some named Christmas ornaments for people that ask me to do that every year. So I've been doing that, and I'm trying to think of something else. There was one other thing, but that's what I've been. This is my big concentration because I'm like John. I procrastinate, and I should have already probably had these done. I've got enough to make 50 toys, and I got it. We have to turn them in the first Thursday in December is our woodworking club meeting, so that's when we have to have them turned in. So I've got what, 3 weeks to get them done. I think I've probably got 20 of them, so I only got 30 more to do. So they're coming along pretty good. I'll have them done. It's just I've waited till the last minute to do it. So, but that's what I've been doing. And there is something else I was thinking about, but I don't remember now. See, I can't even remember. That's the reason I have notes that I write everything down, because I have a hard time remembering what I'm doing. But other than that, just the same old. The Rockler thing I told you all about. I go up there. I teach classes, but this has been a thing today, was just where that people signed up and we made Christmas ornaments. I took a various amount of patterns up there and we did it on birch plywood, and everybody got to cut out a Christmas ornament and finish it and take it home. And so I had 5 scroll saws going at one time, and everybody's a beginner. So I'm going bouncing around from scroll saw to scroll saw to scroll saw, trying to keep all 5 of them going. And I had help there if I'd have needed it, but they helped me do some of it. But it's fun, and it was really what was really great about it is a father brought in his daughter and son, and you don't see that a lot. I see some father and son, and son and father and father. I think I just said that backwards, but anyway, and father daughter. A guy brought his daughter in and wanted her to learn how to scroll. So I see that, but this was the first time my father and both of his children, and they had a great time. They really did. I don't think I told the story about we messed up her first ornament, and it was my fault. So I got her another one, and she finished that, and when we're waiting for it to dry, and she loves scrolling so much, she went over there and she had that other ornament that wasn't done, and she says, "Can I go ahead and finish this, even though it's kind of messed up? I'd like to do some more on it." I said, "Sure, go ahead, no problem." So she went back over there and was scrolling some more. So she enjoyed it so much. It's good to see kids get involved like that, and it's good to see parents. I even told the father, "You are to be commended, because getting your children out and doing things like this and hands-on stuff and showing them woodworking." He's got a little small shop in his garage. Not a lot. He's got a bandsaw and a few other things, but it was really good.
It's always good to have kids getting involved, man. It's about time more people get kids working with their hands.
Yeah, and the sad thing about that is here in Florida, and I think it's going on around the rest of the country also, is they're taking shop class out of the schools.
Oh yeah, so they haven't had shop class up in our area in 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. They've had it here in Florida. It hadn't been that long, but they have now pretty well eliminated all of them in the last 5 years. So there's no more shop. We used to have agriculture class. We used to have shop class. Actually, the shop class and the agricultural class were kind of like hand in hand. But we would go out, and we had cows and chickens and a garden, a farm, that we took care of as the ag kids. And then they taught us welding and woodworking and everything in there also. And yeah, that's really a shame, because what are these people going to do if they're not teaching woodworking and stuff in school and getting them in a hands trade? Everybody can't be a engineer. Everybody can't be a doctor. Everybody can't be a lawyer. I mean, you've got to have people that can fix things and do things with their hands. And
somebody's got to bake the bread.
Yep. And so they're taking all that out of the schools. And so how are they going to learn it now? And I understand that there's not enough time to teach those children in a normal school environment. But what you do is you can start teaching them, instill in them the working with the hands, and get them used to it, because some of them will love it so much that they will take on and learn it more afterwards. But that's, you just get them started and get them going, and that point them in the right direction, so to speak.
Right.
The city I grew up in, we've got a lot of steel mills and heavy industry south of Chicago here, and we had a whole high school that was just dedicated to shop. I mean, it just had welding, car mechanics, and you either went to the college prep high school or you went to the high school that taught you industrial arts.
Right. Now we got a trade school like that here too, but the public schools are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've still got a pretty good tech school in our town.
Yeah, we've got tech schools and everything. And Tim Guba, does not butcher his name also. I appreciate what he said. He says, "This is the best place Or is this a place for the Let's Talk Shop with Russ show? Yes, Tim, you have found us. We are here. So looking for anybody else that's out there that's new. Mark Christopher, like I said, is out there, which is great. I appreciate Mark being out there. We've got technical schools here too, where they teach mechanics. You can learn to work on a motorcycle, a car, or boats, or whatever. But still, I mean, that is kind of like not the same as in when you're in high school, because I don't know, when my theory is when you're in high school, that's when you're like most trying to absorb everything and getting to figure out what you want to do once you make that decision or once you graduate. So that's the time to get them involved in the hands-on stuff, whether it be shop where they can learn how to work on a car, whether it be woodworking, where it be, they need those skills to show them, to pique their interest at that moment, so that they can make that decision from that point on to go on. Like I said, not everybody can be a doctor. Not everybody can be a mechanic. So different skills, different things for different people.
Ours is part of the high school. Ours is part of the high school. They have to finish their academic program too, but they can also take major, for lack of a better word, in auto mechanics, woodworking, electrical. Matter of fact, the guy who works on my house is a graduate from that school. So they get a good program over there. Matter of fact, I want to go work with them when I retire.
Chris Nealon says to estimated shop here in CT over 15 years ago. I took shop in high school, even though I was in college prep class. It's paid off for me many times over. Yes, it has its benefits. Yep. Shop. Rusty Nail says shop class is getting a taste of it. Yep. Mark Lindsay says CNC says occupational education is a big thing here. It's just a bit outdated. A local HVAC company is sponsoring some sheet metal fabrication classes because they need sheet metal guys. Dave Gatton goes, "What's a CNC?" I have no clue what's a CNC, Dave. But
Dave Gatton.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I've got my old, I thought about this, and I don't know. You can only do so much, and you get spread out, and then nothing is. If you get my point, if you spread yourself out too thin, then you got so many things in the fire, so to speak, then nothing really gets done, or nothing gets done quality wise. But I have my race car trailer that it's a big trailer. It holds a full blown race car and all the tools and everything that I've thought about. It's doing nothing but sitting there, and I've thought about turning it into a scroll saw trailer and see if I can get Rockler or some companies to donate some 788s and line about 4 or 5 of them in there. And it's AC'd. All I need to do is put the generator back on it, but set up a trailer to do scroll saw stuff and take them to the schools and let people start doing scroll saw. But like I said, I get so many things going. Nothing can be, I can't spend quality time with anything. So I have to be careful what I do. So anybody else? I seem to be the only one talking. Come on, guys.
Well, I discussed with my wife in the next 2 years, I would like to set up my garage here to be a semi-school, to have, kids come in and just the basics. And if they want to pursue, help them out. But there's a lot of stuff in the back end that's got to get sorted out first.
Where you invite kids into your woodworking shop in your garage, in other words, you tell them how to wood. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yep.
See? And you have kind of an outlet. You're in kind of a fairly a community where you could get out like that, and plus with your influence in the fire department, yeah, that would be really good.
Yeah, because I mean, my son, he's 13. Every once in a while, he'll come in. He want to do something. I don't videotape it a lot because it's me more trying to him. So who wants to see that on a video? But his friends and stuff, they come over, hang out in the driveway and say, can you show us this, that, the other thing? So, in that aspect, I tell them, I mean, they help me sand a lot, because you can't really hurt yourself with sanding.
Yeah, that's what That's why we were talking about doing the little scroll saw ornaments for the smaller ones, is going ahead and have them done so they can do that, the sanding and the painting and everything, so that they won't have to worry about doing it. You know, and I was talking to that father the day. He said that he had a small shop in his house. I forgot his name. I'm sorry, but you know, my children were fortunate due to the fact that I'm a third generation carpenter. My sons have worked on the jobs with me when we've been remodeling and building houses and stuff, so they got exposed to woodworking. And then here in the shop, they come in and they do stuff in my shop. I've also got my grandson, Gage, has been very interested in the shop and he loves doing videos with me and doing scroll work, and also my granddaughter Audra, and then my granddaughter Michaela. I started scrolling, started teaching her to scroll. Oh, I don't know. She was probably 8 or 9 years old, and she continued to scroll. Matter of fact, I gave her that one scroll saw to use, and she's continued to scroll. She's like 20-something years old, 21, right around that age, and she's been scrolling all the way up to now and doing projects. She loves to do it. The only reason that she's not doing it anymore, or for a period of time, is because she's gotten married, and I'm having my great grandchild. So she's kind of backed off of the scrolling for a time. So, but you know, I've exposed my children to it, but it came more naturally, like the way I was exposed to it from my father, and then my father was exposed to it from his father. So it's kind of been handed down.
I think that's why I get my kid in the shop as much as I do, so we can keep that engagement and keep us open. I've got 3 daughters, 25, 21, and now 12. And I'll tell you, the 12-year-old in the shop really gets that communication open. It's been very helpful.
That's cool.
Chris Nealon says we're going to move to Florida just to learn from Russ.
Hey, Russ, if you have a lot of pull with Rockler, ask them to open up Rockler in Jersey.
Okay,
there's nothing wrong.
I'll get right on. I'll get right on to that. But Jim Bashir's put out there in the 70s, they didn't want guys to take typing, so we wouldn't take up the space for the girls. I know what you're talking about, because Jim, because home ec was a big thing, and they wouldn't let.
Yeah, it was.
High school, they would not let the guys go in home ec. They wouldn't let us.
Well, there's 2 good reasons for it. One is that the guys would take typing just to be in a class with all girls.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like 71 through 75 is when I was in high school. But hey, you know, computers weren't out then yet, and they would look at you and say, "What do you want to take typing for? You're not going to need it in a job," you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Trust me, I wanted to do home ec. Yeah, and they wouldn't let us guys do home ec for some reason. But yeah, that's sad. Really, really sad that they're doing that, and I don't understand. They're trying to cut budgets. They're trying to cut back, like in the elementary schools and the junior high schools, especially the elementary schools. They've pretty well taken out phys ed. They don't have physical education anymore in the elementary schools. I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff. If you ask me, I don't know who the heck these people are. They're making the decisions, but they're doing a lot of stuff to destroy our children. And that's the way I look at it. They're not making good sense at all. So, you know, when they've done so much damage, like I said, physical education, come on, you got to get their butts up and get them outside. And that's what a lot of problem with the kids today too. And I don't want to get on this and harp on it, but is the video games. They're getting so involved in video games. They're not getting off their butts and getting outside. And my kids played video games. Don't get me wrong. I play video games. Matter of fact, I just discovered the other night, Jim Bashir's is a StarCraft fan, and I love playing StarCraft. We were watching over on Twitch TV, we were watching the StarCraft challenges, so to speak.
Yeah, finals.
Yeah. Pretty interesting stuff. I love that game. But my point is, there's nothing wrong with playing video, but don't let the kids sit there all the time and that's all they do is play video games, and make them get outside. My kids played football, they played basketball, they played baseball. I mean, I had them out there doing other things, not only playing games, but they had Xbox and PlayStations and played them too. You got to give them a well organized or a well balanced thing, because I understand the thing with video games. If it's raining outside or if it's cold outside and it's snowing, they can't get outside and do something. There's nothing wrong with pulling out a video game and playing it. I used to like the what is it, the on the PlayStation, the Bass Pro Shops bass catching the bass game. I had the rod and reel and everything hooked up for the Xbox or the PlayStation where you could catch the bass. That was fun as crap. Am I the only one that does that other than Jim? I know Jim likes it.
I never got into video games.
Never got into video games.
Me neither.
I play way too many video games.
Yeah.
I haven't had a video game in my house since I had an Atari 5200.
I remember the old Atari. How about the old Pong when it first came out?
Now, was it Pong?
Yeah,
Pong.
Yeah, when it was on a black and white TV and all you did was bounce that stupid ball back and forth and back.
Boy, and that was really technology too.
Oh, yeah.
It was on Atari, right?
No, that was just a Pong game.
It was just a Pong game.
I remember the Atari one that you had the spinning joystick, had the knob on it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I think it was the Atari that came out with where you had the game where you had to tell it, like you would say, "What am I seeing?" It would say, "I see a woods with a trail and a rock," or whatever. Remember that game? Anybody remember
Dungeons and Dragons, early Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, and then you would have to say, "Okay, pick up rock," and it would say, "Okay, I've got the rock." Okay, read the rock, and then it would say, "Oh, there is a message on the backside of the rock," and you would read it to give you your next. Then you got to tell it, "Walk south," and it would go for a little bit. I mean, that was really pretty funny.
They had something similar to that for Commodore 60. That didn't even have anything that was wrong off that tape.
Oh yeah, the type all the coding and stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Love the 64
computer.
I remember saving my programs to cassette tape.
Yeah.
Didn't have a disk drive back then.
Exactly. It was cassette tapes. They saved it to the magnetic strip or magnetic cassette tapes. Yes, they did. That was
the first computer I had at work didn't even have a hard drive in it. You booted it up with the floppy disks.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're here at 9 o'clock. So we're going to call it a night. And yes, if everybody gets their, everybody will, I was thinking next week we do something, but I just reminded myself a little bit earlier. Next week, next Saturday show is going to be the announcement of the winners of the Scroll Star Artist Contest. That's what we will be doing. So when you have until 11:59 or midnight Wednesday night to have your clock in, and so that it can be judged, and I'll get them judged between Thursday, Friday, and during the day Saturday, and then pick out the winners. Now, just to let everybody know, we'll be doing the top three, first, second, and third place are actually judged and picked. And so after that, from after fourth, fifth, sixth, right on down, however many we have, we'll pick out of that is random drawing. The reason I did it that way is because I wanted people to be able to have a chance to show off their talent, and not totally a random drawing. So first, second, and third is actually judged and picked. And then everybody from that point on always want to do the best of both worlds, so that anybody that entered would have at least a chance to win something. So everything from that on down is actually drawn of the luck of the draw. So what we'll do is we'll announce on Saturday the first, second, and third winners, and then we'll actually have the drawing for the rest live on the show on Saturday. So you'll get to see who gets chosen for the rest of the prizes. And what it is also, just to explain it, is first place gets the choice of any prize he wants in the prize list. Second place gets the choice of any prize. Or she.
Donna.
Yep, Donna. Sorry. They will get to choose. The second place gets to choose whatever they want, minus first places, because first place took one, and then third place the same on, right on down. So, yeah, he or she, whoever wins. So,
we have females here too.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Hey guys, here's a blast from the past talking about computers.
Oh, wow. Texas Instruments.
This isn't my original one. I have my original one that used to have the little chiclets. This is the 9A, I think. But anyway, it was 994A. Yeah, I still have a couple of these sitting around.
Cool.
I got a Sega.
That is awesome. That is really good. All right. Anybody else got anything else they want to say before we get out of here? Chris, you were saying something?
Russ, I think since we have a newbie on the panel, shouldn't we get a workshop confession out of him?
We can do that.
What
Brett,
do you mean?
Brett, since you're the newbie, and this is everybody on the panel is saying they want us to do this. Everybody shake your head up and down. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What it is woodshop confession. What we want you to do is tell a story about one of the dumbest things that you did in your shop that afterwards you did it. You said, like, why in the heck did I do that? For instance, I was nailing some wood one day and picked it up and held it in my hand because it kept on wanting to slide around. And the wood was like 3/4 of an inch thick, and I didn't think about it, but I had 1 1/4 brads in the gun, so I went pow and went right straight through and stuck me in the hand. So something like that. What is something?
So I've only got to pick one.
Yeah, I know. We all have.
You know, I'm still kind of new to this, right? I've got plenty of these kind of hanging around there. All right, I think the biggest one would be when I got my new table saw. I got the TS3650, the rigid. There's a really wide gap next to the blade, and I tried cutting a really, really thin strip next to the fence, and got my first experience with kickback, and it scared the hell out of me. I almost hit the ceiling in my attic jumping up so high. It scared me to death. So yeah, that was probably the biggest bonehead move recently.
Cool. Well, we're going to bless you tonight so that you won't have any more bonehead moves in your shop. Bless you, my son. So
thank you so much for having me on.
What'd you say, John?
Since then, you've made 0 clearance insert for you.
About 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I've done that. I've done that before. A kickback is can be one dangerous thing. It can really get not only hurt you physically from hitting you with the object, but if you have your hand on it and it jerks, you can jerk your hand into the blade, so it can get you both ways. So
I got super lucky. It dropped down inside the saw and just made a really, really big bang, but yeah, it was close.
Yeah. I've been fortunate. Knock on wood. Thank Lord. Thank you, God, that you. I've never had a major. I've injured myself a few times here and there. Like I said, I drove that nail into my palm that time, but fortunately, I've got all my fingers in my hands, and my eyes. He has blessed me very much and kept me very safe over the years, and I appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, thank you all of you for out there being in the chat. Tim Guba, Mark, I'll get it right in a minute. Michael Marcoux, David Hart, Chris Nealon, Katie Dotson, all have been out there. We saw Steve French out there. College View, he's out there now. Mark Christopher. When I said goodnight, they're already starting to sign off out there. So I guess they're telling us it's time that we need to sign off. So thank you guys for all being out there in the chat. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Brett, and you're welcome to come back anytime.
Please, I'd love it.
Okay, Chris, Dave Gatton. Dave, you've been kind of quiet tonight. He's not.
Yeah, I'm tired. I had a visitor here most of the day.
Yeah, I saw that. What was his name? Jeff.
Jeff Connor. Yeah, he come by and we kind of hung out and talked shop all day. So
cool. And thank you, Donna and Jim Bashirs, John Schaffner, Al Forte, and Paul from Paul's Messy Woodshop. Thank you all for being here tonight. I appreciate it so very much, and thank you once again to everybody over in the chat. There's only one thing we have left to do, and you all know what that is. Just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust, all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody, and God bless.
Bye, gang.
Night,
Remember,
everybody.
you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.